I never had the blues in my life. I play them, but never had the blues in my life.
My mother didn't want me in the house when I messed around with the guitar. She said you'd die to go to hell if you played blues. And I knew that was there, I knew that I was going to die and go to hell anyway if I didn't play something to try to make a living. I know that.
Anybody can have the blues, but what really gives you the blues, you drive over to your house one night late, get out of your car, and you meet your cat. She ain't here, she ain't here. Your wife done gone. You got the blues then.
Situation always was and has been very precarious, you know? I mean, nobody is guaranteed tomorrow, especially this crowd. I knew I had to record these guys as soon as I saw them. Just going into that place sort of changed everything for me. I saw these old guys, 55, 60, that were just rocking. I mean, they weren't there for any sort of career ambition or anything. They were just there because they wanted to be there. The energy and the rawness of it, you know, sort of stopped me in my tracks. And I was like, these are the kind of people I want to spend my time with.
I agreed to record 3 days, to record Junior Kimbrough for 3 days, and we went out there, and I guess we all met up that day. I met Matthew, I met Robert Palmer, I met Junior Kimbrough, and I met John Herman, JoJo Herman. It was kind of magic happened that day.
Sort of what I think now might have been like the beginning of Fat Possum Records. Maybe it began a couple of years before that in a bar or something, but it was still on a napkin and it had one record to its name that hadn't sold very well. There wasn't that much interest in it until Robert Palmer produced All Night Long.
Slide music like they play now, but it was on 2 wires. You know, these broom wires come off these old brooms, you know, and take them, nail inside the house, and give me a bowl and put on there and play slide on them wires.
When he started playing music, I think when he was something like 8 years old. I think that's mostly all he ever did.
My uncles, they used to play a lot. That's where I learned from them, you know, watching them. But I'd have to steal their guitars. When they leave going to work, then we'd get out and get their guitars and play them.
Junior was the most self-confident of any of the guys we've ever had. I mean, he knew what he was doing. You know, he did not want to play covers and would not.
Junior had never left out of Mississippi. He has never actually ever went any place to change the sound of his music. In fact, see, he don't have any education. So he don't have any music style of music. He just plays from what he hears, and that is all.
Now, sometimes I may be riding down the road and want to come in my mind, you know, and I'll just start to sing. I have to sing a good while before it won't leave me, you know what I mean?
Several people who have come here and offered him free lessons, but he won't accept that.
We were brought in to meet Junior. He received us like royalty, meaning he was the royalty. He kind of put his hand out and just, you know, kind of acknowledged us in a gentlemanly fashion, and then kind of grunted. You know, he'd obviously had to go through this routine a few times, and he wouldn't know, you know, where they're saying, "They're from you too. You too, look, they're from you too," Junior. He's going, "Yep." You know, "Me too, you too," you know. And I guess in some college campuses we were big shots, but right there in Holly Springs, you couldn't fit us in a shot glass. And he kind of slowly makes his way through everyone, and he walks up to the microphone. And, well, it's like an hour before he gets there. It's an hour, it's minutes, it's like 30 minutes, and 10, and he just kind of, "I'm gonna rape little girl. I'm gonna rape your little girl. You know that's what you want." And so I actually, all of a sudden, I go, oh dear me. What are we doing here? This man obviously means business.
My father, a lot of guys used to love to see the way that he played, wondering how he performed like that. Because it's a type of music that really just, it gets you moving. When you come there, when you feel like you're down, oh man, that music picked you up, man. It picked you up, and you know, once you listen to it, it's there, man. It's there. You can't shake it off you.
It just put you into a trance. It's hypnotic, and it's so laid back. It's so laid back. It's very seductive. It always sounds like. That sounds, I can see why that guy's got so many kids, because women can't resist him.
You got that right. He didn't have no problem getting them women. Junior would tell him, "I'm married. I got a wife. You don't want to go to no Holly Springs." So she ain't been too long, got out of jail for shooting with another woman.
You was asking me now how I felt if he with other women. It was fine with me because I knew that he loved me and I know that I loved him. So.
He told me one day, he said after working at, I guess it was Cat or John Deere, I don't know where, he was like, you know, I just said, fuck it. He said, I knew I wasn't really going to have anything, and he said the one thing I was determined not to do anymore was to help anyone else get famous or to get their music out there. He said from now on, I was only going to play my stuff. So it's like he almost like sat down and deliberately reinvented the blues without sounding retro, just to avoid helping other people. I mean, nothing mean-spirited about it, but just to somehow, to conscientiously put his artistic stamp on everything.
I kept her feet around on the guitar like this. Like this. Well, I see, that would bounce back in my head, see, like this. You know, I ain't did no good. Man said they dropped that atom bomb. It's an old song that I put together back when I was 18 years old. Told Hitler about Tokyo Rose. You know I love that woman. She about to put on up out of door. I sort of know. Baby, I just can't help you now. Man, since they dropped that atom bomb.
The records they're putting out really are about the most interesting records that anybody's putting out, you know. I have trouble with, like, you know, when Sidell Davis gets way out of tune, I have a little trouble with that.
Yeah, I love you, baby. I tell you what I do.
It's just his style, you know. I mean, it sounds out of tune when you hear it to begin with because you're not used to hearing that tuning. But when you listen to it for 5 or 10 minutes, all of a sudden, it sounds like it's in tune. You know, you just fall into his tuning.
I notice every time I go to the supermarket store, whatever, see them great big fat ladies. I mean, all colors, kind, whatever. And I said, well, my goodness, I said, wonder why there's so many fat women here in Pine Bluff. Now, you can go to Chicago, a place like that, or New York. You can go to New York, you don't see very many fat people. Maybe they're there, they don't be out. And the thing come to me and said, if you like fat women, that's just the way it is. Just like if a man like little women. And I like them skinny. I don't care how little they get, but they can sure get too big. I mean that, but now you think about it. All right, after I said, well, I'll make a song about that. I said, you like fat women, come on down to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Fat women, come on down to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You know, more fat women down there. And any place I ever saw. I had typhoid malaria fever back in the day. That stopped me from walking. It's not the first time I've been where I couldn't get around. I had typhoid malaria fever, 1933, that's what you hear me do. 1936, polio hit me. Look, that trouble that's hit me in people. And you can see yourself. I ain't got no hands worth nothing. But I can play a guitar. A lot of people ask me and say, well, how you play a guitar and your hands mess up like this? I said, well, one thing about it, I don't know. Cause ain't no need you trying to explain nothing to a lot of people. They can look at it with their own eyes. They don't see what you're talking about.
The way he just says, I casually relearned to play the guitar. He's like, I flipped it over. I found an alternate tuning and used a butter knife to do what my hands could no longer even hope to do.
I don't go under here to make a slide. Do you see what I'm talking about? I don't go under to make a slide. I do mine over the top. I record. Yeah. Can you hear that?
From there, he's able to earn a meager living for himself. He was playing with Robert Nighthawk at the time, and he was always in constant physical pain from polio. Then in his 20s, while playing a bar in St. Louis,
playing at this place in East St. Louis. This rumbling come up in the back, gambling back then, and one guy pulled up a gun, And I guess thought he was gonna shoot. Maybe he was, I don't know. I wonder. He rushed out and ran me over and broke me up pretty bad. They say our heart is getting sorrow. They say our hands are getting cold. And so I had to go in the hospital. Stay in the hospital 5 months and 6 days because they had my leg up in traction. After I got out of that, okay, I had to go stay in a bed 2 or 3 months at home and make about 8 months after I got out of the hospital before I could get around. It broke down here and right there, and busted my knee, and then was broke right across here. That's all, right there, right across.
From then on, he's confined to a wheelchair, and it still didn't faze him. I mean, you would think at that point anyone would be tired of fighting and struggling for every single thing. But not Sidell. I mean, he's still rolling his wheelchair into the jungle hut in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And that was where he and Bob Palmer met and really hit it off.
So Bob really believed in Sidell, and he was writing for the Times at the time, and got Sidell up to New York and wrote about him a bunch. And Bob really felt Sidell was probably the only survivor playing blues that sounded like the original guy on the Post.
And the more I play, the more things I run across, the more things I found out, you know what I mean? More things that I can do on the guitar that I haven't been doing, see? Because to use your imagination, that's what makes a great musician. You use your imagination and you can execute what you think about.
Well, I'm weak. I was a catfish. I will get down in the mud. Well, I had you good-looking women fishing after me. Fishing after me. Oh, well, I was 58 years old before I picked up a guitar. Now I'm 76 years old. And my wife left and then I started. I didn't know nothing about a guitar. Can't read, can't write, can't spell nothing. But I can play this guitar when I have to. Well, now one you got, baby, she wasn't on the yarn. My wife left me then, And that night, and I walked out there, the moon shining, they pulled off. And I looked up at that moon, it's this way. I say, Lord, I guess she done run off so many times. And I say, Lord, I guess this is it. I went on crossover, got my chair, and I recently got my guitar. And I sit down there by the heater, and I look back over there in that bed at that guitar. I swear, Lord, I'm gonna play this motherfucker. Wonder what I could do with that. I didn't know how to even turn it on. Turned that knob. I hear it a little bit, so I turn a little more, I hear a little bit, turned that on, and it got right. I started playing it. I started walking one string around. Well, I ain't gonna worry, baby. Baby, if you want, come back. I started hitting that thing, I'm trying going just like I do now. Yes, I feel so bad. If my baby would come on. I left him right there. I was sitting there crying and playing goddamn guitar. I feel so bad. If my baby come on, let him. When I got 6 years old, my daddy started me to play on the mule. So when I got a little bigger, he whooped me. I didn't do it, but that's what I had to take that whooping for it. He just grabbed and snatched the button and all of them. Snatched them overhaul down around my leg, hit me side of the head with his fist, knocked me down and grabbed me, put my head between his legs, taking his hand and reached back there and grabbed me right there. I don't know when he quit beating me. And last lick he hit me, I hit him, get out of here and get in that garden and hold that garden. I just grabbed my clothes up and lit out the door running, blood running all down my leg. I went in the garden, went to the far end down there. My little ball hanging out the sack. And I went out and taken that hole and dug me a deep hole down in the ground. It was hot in the summertime, you know. Mama come. She said, where you at? I said, yeah, I'm here down here, Mama. She come on down. She said, what's the matter? I said, Daddy whooped me all between my legs, Mama. And she seen that. She said, where is that black motherfucker? I laid up in the bed, my little legs open, this black head, and that nut out on the side, hanging out there. I don't know what happened to it. That's the only thing wrong with me. He looking for Papa. My Papa looking down. He looking for Mama. He could be found. He could be found.
I got to get me a pair of batteries for it. But other than that, it runs good, man. I used to be in the field playing when I was a little boy, man, playing a mule. In the Saturday morning, we'd like a little bit finishing up something. My granddaddy tell me, we got to finish that this morning. And man, the picnic be done started. I hear them drums going over, and the old bass drum, boom, 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 boom. And I watched him play. I said, I sure wish I could do that. And after I got up about 16, 17, I got where I could start trying to play, you know. But it didn't sound like I gonna never be no guitar player, because did nothing I tried to come out right. I'm going over that hill. I'm going over that hill.
Well, I ain't gonna stop until I reach my God's top.
The spiritual, the first thing I learned. We used to sing in the church, me and my sister, when we were little bitty fellas, you know. And my mama liked that. But when I started playing the blues, when I first started, she didn't like it.
Most of these guys learned on their own. R.L. Burnside, it was Boogie Chillin' by John Lee Hooker's big song.
Now, Lordy, baby, I love you.
From there, he learned from McDowell and a couple of other legendary masters.
Say, my baby, Lord, mama, stand around, you know it. Get ready, honey, we're gonna shake them all down, Lord, in my side, Lord.
I grew up around pretty close to Fred McDowell, and I liked the Lightning Hopkins music, and Fred McDowell and Muddy Waters, John Lee Hooker. And after I got up where I could play, I went up to Chicago and would stay with my daddy for a while to get me a better job in size farming. And I run up on Muddy Water. He was married to a first cousin of mine. I didn't know it. And I used to go to his house every 2 or 3 nights out of a week to listen to him play, watch him play. Didn't nobody never teach me nothing, but I've sat and watched people, When I got where I could play, if Fred McDowell would be going out playing at a house party, he'd come by there and ask me to come on go with him, I'd go with him and play something, because he gonna get drunk about after he play a while, We'd play, man, from 8 o'clock to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Probably get $3 and some whiskey. You get drunk, You had to buy them 3, what you got.
Like a lot of the blues musicians were not so much innovators as they sort of improved on or sort of put their signature on songs that they really liked. R.L. still does play a lot of covers that probably no one living has heard or would consider a standard.
You come to my house, don't even know where around. Know that I'm somewhere, shaking them all down.
R.L. Burnside was born around Oxford, Mississippi. He jumped around from job to job, all sort of farm-related, working as a sharecropper, working at a gin. He moved to Chicago when he was in his early 20s, and it was in Chicago that R.L. lost most of his family.
My brother, he used to be a doctor. But I guess he was messing around selling them young people that have to say kill him, And they said my daddy had got his check, and somebody of them guys saw him, and he liked to drink. He went to the liquor store and they killed him. But I don't know what happened. They caused my other brother and my other uncle to get killed, but like I said, it all happened in about 8 months. All of them got killed. 5 people. Ain't no way I would live there now, man. I lived there 3 years, but at that time you could be walking down the street and be about drunk, lay down on the side of the street and go to sleep all night.
After that, RL, like probably anyone would, left Chicago and came back to Holly Springs. He's been living in and around Holly Springs ever since.
I first met him at a dance club.
Was he a good dancer?
No. But you were. Oh, but I mean, it was fine.
Well, I'd known a brother 3 or 4 years, and me and him used to run around together and gamble, and I'd taken him home one morning and I got to meet his sisters, you know.
He didn't know how to play the guitar when I first know him.
About 2 months after then, we got married. And we've been together ever since.
Man, 50 years.
RL's our most successful artist.
These guys rough, ain't they?
But it hasn't changed his life at all. I mean, it seems like every time we start raising RL's performance fees, he's got that much more people that he's supporting.
Oh, come on in. This is the song. That's my oldest song.
Yeah, I rented a house in the project when I started touring, you know. But for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been buying one.
You used to go visit him after, you know, he was in prison and stuff, right? Were you around when that happened?
Yeah, I went. I stayed for 6 months.
For what though?
Oh no, okay.
I didn't kill him now, I just shot him. I told him that was up to him and the Lord about dying, you know.
It did look bad because it was in the back of the head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because most of the time, people when they claim self-defense, it's usually, you know, when the guy's walking towards them, not when he's turned away.
The judge asked me, you know, oh really, did you shoot him in self-defense? I said, no sir, I shot him in the leg and he jumped the fence.
Well, you caught him in the head, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well,
twice in the head and once right through there.
Well, why was he after you?
Well, I beat him out of some money gambling. I was gambling hard then, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I beat him out of some money and he's mad about that.
Dice?
Yeah, shooting dice.
With the dice loaded, RL?
No, it wasn't loaded.
The gun was.
The gun was loaded.
So how much money did you beat him out of?
Oh, about $400. And back then, that was a lot of money,
yeah,
you know.
That was a lot.
He gave me, I was 5 years, but the man I was working with, he's a big man, you know. And I didn't serve but 6 months down there.
That's a good deal.
But it won't get me.
What's that song about, though?
Well, it's just some lot of stuff, you know, we made up and put in there.
So it doesn't mean anything, really?
No.
Love is the devil, but it won't get me.
That's right, love is the devil, but it won't get me. I don't believe it. I'm gonna try not to let him get me. Love is the devil, but it won't get me. On drums is my grandson, Mr. Cedric Burnside. Love is the devil, but it won't get me. Love is the devil, but it won't get me. On slide guitar is my adopted son, Mr. Kenny Brown. Love is the devil, but it won't get me. Don't be so easy. Don't y'all be so mean.
R.L. Burnside. I thought you'd been serving the devil.
Well, a lot of people serve the devil, but they always call on the Lord. I killed a man. He cut me and I cut him back. I went up with a young man, 18 years old then. He come up there behind me and looking down on me, and nothing thing I know, he cut at me. I feel like a hot piece of iron when he went in my back. He starved me at my spinal just about that far. I live out that chair and carried that chair. When I turned around, he was here. I tore that chair on his head. Back then, you could buy them old switchblade pocket knife for 25 cents. Yeah. And I kept one. I just run my hand in my pocket, and I had good teeth then. Not a fool around. I just hit it, and I just kept cutting. And he left that knife in my back. I just stood there and looked at him, blood was shooting up out of me. I was mad, I didn't give it down. That daddy come up there and told me, come on. Before the police got there, I was gone. He carried me by the house and got 2 quilts. Carried me down there in the ditch, vines and everything, so you couldn't see down in there. And I stayed down there 2 nights and days, the police.
on a chain gang. He gave me one ass whooping over there. That big whites on me busting my ass. That goddamn bitch. Yeah, made a good man out of T-Model. I think about all that.
Sing. I'm saying all them old low down records. You ain't supposed to be doing things you hear other people do. It's just what come out your mouth or what goes in your heart or something. Some kind of way like that. And the chicken corn for day. I will pack my rag and go and make my getaway. Robert John, y'all know him, man?
Mm-hmm. I heard of him.
You heard of him?
Mm-hmm.
And you see where he went to the crossroad and stayed there at 12 o'clock when the devil played the guitar and handed it back to him? Mm-hmm. You saw that?
I saw the movie, yeah.
Well, that was actually true.
Really?
That was true. Blues is devil music.
Johnny Farmer was a guy that had 3 songs in his head that he really enjoyed hearing, and he bought a guitar and learned how to play those 3 songs, and that was the extent of why he picked the guitar up. And shit, I mean, I feel horrible because I wanted to record him. I thought he was great, and he was just like, no, he goes, let's just teach you to play, and you'll do a way better job than I could do.
I didn't never want to make no record. Matter of fact, I told him to don't even put my name on it. I think I did.
And then he finally consented, came to Oxford. We made a record, and then his health started getting bad, and he blamed everything on making that record.
I hope that wasn't the cause of it. Millie Jane, baby, see what you have done. Well, you stole all of my money. Baby, you got me on the run.
Do you like playing blues music whenever you're playing it?
I liked it for myself. I didn't like to entertain nobody. I'd rather pay somebody else to do that. That's a hard work if you don't know it. It's not easy to perform in them guitars and sing, go on. You know it?
Mm-hmm. I love it. I always wanted to be a part of music. You know, I've been lonesome all the time. And I stay lonesome now. I have the blues all the time now.
But I'm wearing what another man can be. But I'm wearing what another man can be.
I think it was October of 94, 95. God, I must have spent like every third day hunting down A.Z. Payton. The situation was, if it was raining enough where that they couldn't get the tractors into the field or kind of rut it up too bad, then A.Z. was free to record. I remember I finally was able to get him up to Oxford, and he sat down one night and played like 37 songs straight. We were amazed. I mean, I was sitting there just, you know, hoping they could switch the reels of tape quick enough to keep up with him. I tried like hell to get him to, I don't know, want to sort of make a career out of it. And in some ways, it was really neat that he was secure or happy enough in his own life and community that he couldn't be swayed at all.
I can put the music with the words. The music's not that hard to put with the song. If I get the words together. There's so many words and so many songs people got out. You know, it's hard to get your own song. You know what I mean? You know, your own style, your own talent. You know, it's really hard to do that. very much. I like this city, you know what I mean? This ain't my life, you know. I like where I was born, so that's where I want to live. This is where I want to die, right here, you know, Mississippi.
Baby, I love you. I've been waiting on you, girl. Come here, be by my side.
When A.Z. Payton died, gosh, it took us 3 or 4 years just to come up with enough cash to release that record. I don't want my guys to die unknown. I mean, what good does it do them if their music is discovered 10 or 15 years after their death? That's why I do all I can to get them on the road, to remix their music to whatever it takes to get them into circulation today while it's not too late.
Maybe we write on here that we agreed to pay you to do this, and you agreed to do this, and you sign it and all that stuff, and make it legal when we give you the check, and cool with that.
The foundation is rotten. It's sitting on the ground. The walls are rotting. The roof is rotten and leaks. The sheetrock's bad. The plumbing's fucked up. Gas lines are rotted out, and the wiring.
He's got Stella living here and his 3 kids, and it's falling apart. And you know, we're just afraid someone's going to get hurt, and when it rains in on him, and it's at a point where it needs to be torn down and fixed. So eventually, T-Model will sell enough records that his record sales will pay for it. We're considered an advance on his record sales. So hopefully the next record will be good. So it'll be a first.
They feed them. Calves. Bring them. See after. Take care of us. You can't beat that.
You sure can't beat
Give you money and stuff?
Yeah, they can do it. We ain't worth for nothing.
The Caucasian people just don't do too good a business with black people.
I think the sort of typical image of a record guy, especially a white guy running a blues label, is that, well, he's ripping them off. There's not that much incentive since I've got nothing to bargain with. And in all fairness, the record industry, like almost any other industry or capitalism, is sort of based on the exploitation of others.
See, I tried to explain it to Junior. I tried to explain it to Aurel. Aurel, if you got something to sell, sell it. Don't give the man all of your music. Give him part of it and let him beg for the rest of it and make it pay. They making money. They people, I know some people that Fat Possum is getting fat. Because he's a damn possum.
There hasn't really been a whole lot of money except with R.L. Burnside. Success for us is just some sort of horrible failure most anyone else in the record industry.
Hell, R.L. ain't getting nothing what he ought to be getting. R.L. go to Europe 7 or 8 times a year. When he get back, how much money he got? Nothing.
I don't really think it's nobody else's business to know how much we're getting paid. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it's their business to even ask us that.
Junior wanted it all spelled out. He wanted his eating money, his drinking money, and his pay all separated. So he knew exactly what he was going to have when he got home. RL just wanted to know, what he was getting and when he was going to get it.
Somebody told me one time that every record company is going to screw you. It's just which one's screwing you the most.
Our whole system is not based on mostly trust with a little mistrust sprinkled in. Ours is like, 95% mistrust with some sort of vague semi-trust in there.
Friend mean fuck you. Pal mean asshole, and that's for damn sure.
A lot of blues guys, they sort of live up to that reputation of they'll do anything they can to take someone's money. The perfect example is like when Gary Burnside went to Italy with Junior Kimbrough. It was for 2.5 weeks, and Junior paid the kid, $3.25. So they would do anything they could to not pay their help, and they just assumed that we applied that reason.
Back when they started this record company, there wasn't anybody really, trying to, seriously record these cats.
Well, if I can get a good record out there, a good CD, a good record out there, a good song, or whatever you may call it, oh, well, that makes it better for me. I make more money and get more jobs.
Bruce Matthew is a couple of white angels. to T-Mall Floyd. I like them two white boys, the tail draggers, T-Mall Floyd, from Greenville, Mississippi.
They probably act like assholes, and you know what I'm saying, they probably do a lot of stuff wrong, but you know what I'm saying, for us, they doing a lot of things right.
You went down to the appointment I made for you, right? The doctor last week?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, it went over pretty good. He said he gave me some medicine, and it's unstopping my ear, nose, and popping is gone.
Well, good.
Come down to Oxford, I'll make you right.
You stick a stick through this here, I'll come out to it, and then I can hear from this side over there, okay?
When in June are you supposed to go back?
I don't forget I'll find out the date.
Please do, because we got a couple of shows, we'll make sure that
Let me know, yeah. The 26th, we're going to fly out for one day to Denver.
Colorado,
just one day. We'll leave on Friday, come back on Saturday. You'll be gone less than 24 hours. You'll make some good money. At least $3,000.
That's a big one.
If you don't make that one, Matthew and I are both going to probably not be able to come back. So if you want to fuck us, that's the way to do it.
Just miss that.
Yeah.
You want to fuck us again?
Well, I'm gonna try to not to do that.
He been trying to get to every show that's been booked, you know what I'm saying? And when he cancels shows, I really think it be for a reason. You know what I'm saying? It ain't because he don't really want to go. I think it be for a reason, you know what I'm saying? Because he been suffering with this sinuses in his ear for a long time, and I guess it's just getting to him, and plus he getting older, you know what I'm saying? So
man, I got to go to this employment office again, this Social Security office. They done cut off both my checks, man.
Huh.
And I got to go up there and talk with them people again, because I talked with the lawyer then Hot Spring, and since they give me a disability from that hospital, that heart doctor, you know, and I got to carry that up there and let them see it. He said they can't cut my check off with that.
Huh. I mean, how much are these checks adding up to? Because it's like you're jeopardizing everything.
Well, they done cut my SSI check off anyway. It'd been cut off about 2 years.
How much was that a month?
It was $111.
Shit, RL.
And then they cut it down to 71, man.
All right, but you make a lot more than that.
And then they cut it plumb off.
You make a lot more than that just on,
in an hour.
In an hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I
wouldn't fuck with that one.
Until you like I said, they can't. If you got like you're disabled, they can't cut you off.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is though, until you just want to give up touring altogether, I'd leave them little checks alone. I wouldn't even
go to. I mean, shit.
Well, I ain't gonna,
You know what they're gonna do though? If they find out how much you really been making, they're gonna put us in jail, and they're gonna take everything you've got.
They can't cut you off as long as you disabled.
Yeah, but if they find out what you're really making, they can cut you off. You're scaring me.
I'd please just tell these little checks to go to hell and not mess with them.
Well, I'm gonna have to do something.
You're determined, dude.
Maybe we can all get a cell next to each other.
Right where we can be still together.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be with y'all that.
Matthew and I are gonna be, spitting spit wads at you.
You will find a lot of white people who lived with black people. And by them living with the black people, then some of them will be able to play the blues almost like some of the blacks.
Well, I started out trying to learn to play guitar. Taught myself some stuff with a little book. I got a little guitar and trying to learn a little bit. And then got me a decent guitar, a little K arch top Mama did. I was trying to play it, and I was about ready to give it up. And I was sitting there trying to play one day. My brother come in, and he said, "You ought to go over next door to old Joe over there next door." When I started with Joe, he'd just say, "Hit it like this, boy," and he'd start playing. And, we hit it off big, you know. So I started going over there every day. Before I get on the school bus in the morning, I go over there, and as soon as I get off, I go over there. And we'd sit on the porch in the summertime and play out there.
Joe Calico passed, and he come down to my house, you know, and asked me would I teach him how to play guitar, and I said, yeah.
So started going down there about 2 or 3 times a week. I'd get off doing construction, he'd get off the tractor, and we'd sit up in the house and play at 12 or 1 o'clock. And we started going out to the juke joint.
You don't want to tell about the first juke joint you went to with me.
Yeah, RL came, he said, well, I got this place we can play, we can make a little money. And we go down there Saturday night. I said, all right, so I went down to this house, and we drove about 30, 40 miles out through the woods. Finally came to a clearing, there was a big old house out there. We played for a while. They had people all hollering, hooping and all. And the first time I've been around a bunch of, you know, black people drinking. You know, I'd been around a bunch of black people, but not drinking, you know, whiskey and everything. They was hooping and hollering. I was the only white guy in there. And all of a sudden, RL says, Brown, you keep playing, I'm gonna go in the back and gamble some. I said, oh, shit. They're gonna hang my ass. And anyway, I went to play, and they went to hollering, kept hollering and all. And that's why Burnside come back in. We went back to playing again. Just checking me out, see if I was going to make it, I guess. Or if I lived through that, I could make it.
You could make it then?
Yeah. But we've been playing together off and on ever since '71.
Yeah.
Kenny Brown's a huge part of Fat Possum Records. I mean, he was there at the beginning.
Cut your throat, drink your blood like wine, Lord, I ain't afraid of living, yeah, I ain't afraid of dying. Say, now you don't know, Lord, you don't know my mind. Yeah, you see me laughing, Lord, I'm laughing just to keep from crying. Yeah, it takes rocks and gravel, build a solid road, takes a good loving woman, satisfy my soul. Say, now you don't know, Lord, you don't know my mind. Yeah, you see me laughing, Lord, I'm laughing just to keep from crying.
I wanted to tour with RL because I was a fan of him and his music. We were on tour with the Blues Explosion, and John pulled out the Too Bad Jim record, and we listened to it almost every day on the road. We were all, I think, impressed that there was like a real Delta bluesman alive that was like connected to the real source. You know, we discussed like, well, we'd like to play some shows with this guy, and someone tracked him down and asked RL if he wanted to play some shows with the Blues Explosion.
And the first place we played, the guy said, you ever played with these guys before? I told him, no. I said, this is the first time I've heard about him, but this is the first time I'm playing with him. He gave me a package of yellow plugs, said, you're gonna need these.
I think they were like, you know, who the hell are these white boys? And probably with a name like the Blues Explosion, they thought it was gonna be some bad situation.
We all kind of come from the same place. We're all like white punks, you know, like, you know, hate and love our parents, and, you know, and come from like white middle class America pretty much. These guys, that's not where these guys come from.
We'd get up and jam with him, and he would come up at the end of our set and play with us, so we sort of figure out how to play the songs.
Be sitting up in the rooms, drinking and telling them old stories, and that's when he said, we should make an album out of that, man. I said, no, ain't nobody gonna buy that, man. But finally one day he called me, and I was sitting out there on the shade tree there, drinking a little beer. And my daughter told me, like, Dad, the phone. Bring it here. John Spencer. I said, all right, you ready? I said, hell yeah. Don't help me, it can't hurt me none. He come on down in about 2 days, and we went up here in Hollis Spring and rented one of them hunting clubs, and we did the album in 4 hours.
Well. Look at where good. Get it.
I think that record and the whole experience of touring with RL and getting to know RL and Kenny and Cedric was a big influence on the blues explosion.
I had a tour to do, and I really thought it was important basically to distinguish myself by the company that I could keep on the tour, basically. You know, they didn't want to be going out with some twerps on stage. You know,
we had no money coming in whatsoever, and it was really a depressing time. And you know, I got this call. I was sitting there, I got this call, and he's like, "Hey, man, this is Iggy Pop." At first, I thought it was a joke, and finally, when I realized it was really Iggy Pop calling, I was like, "Yeah, we'll definitely be there. You know, just tell us when and where."
Finally, there one night in Washington, there's this guy with a sweater that says Junior across the front. You know, this white guitar. And he was ready to go.
Junior had no idea who Iggy Pop was. He called him Lollipop.
He liked to joke around a lot.
Iggy would, like, every night before the show, he'd go in and he'd kind of get himself psyched out for the show, and he'd go in there and he'd be doing these kind of things.
So he says to me, how long you been in the business? 30 years. That's nothing.
Junior would just sit there and he would just laugh at him. And he's like, Lollipop is crazy. Lollipop is crazy. Look at Lollipop.
You know, it's just really good. You know, and he sits there playing. And he had his kid Kenny on drums and Gary Burnside on bass. And it's just really, really strong music, you know. And you see the people just grooving.
And we did about 10 cities with Iggy Pop. And I enjoyed that, I really did.
The boys were real bad. They came up to me very, you know, like very polite maybe the first night, you know, and then after a couple of nights and they got more relaxed and finally they said, you know, well, when we get to Chicago, we're going to have some pussy, and you could have some too. Like, oh, well, thanks, you know, that's great. And we got to Chicago, and I sort of like avoided the whole deal, and when I got to the gig, the beat didn't sound the same. The Junior was just going on, the beat didn't sound right. And I looked out of the stage and he had my lighting designer playing drums because the boys were still off with their, yeah, he was pissed. Oh, he was pissed.
This wasn't what you just were saying you were going to do. You did it different a second ago. Yeah. It sounded more better than... Anytime we've made a record that was different or that was inventive or trying to sort of become relevant today, we've gotten so much criticism. How about this? Damn. I mean, it was like real plain, simple. Check this out. An ass pocket of whiskey, everybody thought that Fat Possum corrupted R.L. Burnside.
The way that record was sort of taken apart and the way that I was taken to task by some critics, you know, really sort of stung me.
R.L. Burnside, hey! Have you ever been lonely? A lot of times, you know. Yeah, have you ever been lonely in Holly Springs, Mississippi?
I didn't thought it sounded too good, you know. But after a while, and the people, a lot of times, a lot of more young people, come on in, add a pocket of whiskey or something like that, you know.
I mean, come on in, the same thing. People thought it was just, I don't know, blasphemy or something to take this old guy and do these remixes with this stuff. But it worked. I mean, you know, kids loved it. It made RL relevant.
Don't you let my baby ride, man. Don't you let my baby ride, man. Don't you let my
can't see my baby good and I won't break the camera.
baby ride.
We just have to fix that attitude. There's nothing wrong with that face.
The records are fresh, they're not cliched, they're not dull, they're not what you expect, and they're exciting.
Well, I don't like that too much.
Next guest tonight is a native of Oxford, Mississippi, and he's here tonight to perform a song from his critically acclaimed new album, Wish I Was in Heaven, Sitting Down. Please welcome Mr. R.L. Burnside. Loud.
There are not enough purists around to support any company making records that all sound like they were done in 1931. We've got to sort of, somehow take what we think are the important parts, the sort of spirit, the sound, the integrity of blues, and bring it into this century.
When I met him, I was around 15. I think he was at a house party, and he was playing the guitar.
Hello, everybody. I am Kennedy Kimbrough, and here we have Kenny B, better known as Kimbrough, and right here, Mr. Junior Kimbrough, better known as Papa. So we just having fun.
Well, I would like to put Junior Kimbrough, Soul Group was on my tombstone. That's really what I'd like to do. Let them all know that I used to be a blues player.
A music landmark is lost. Fire reduces a famous Mid-South juke joint to a pile of smoldering debris.
Blues legend Junior Kimbrough died 2 years ago. Last night, his world-famous Junior's juke joint caught fire. And tonight, it's nothing but charred wood and a pile of ashes.
Joe, sometimes you come here at night, man, you can right here. It may sound funny, but it's the truth. You can come right here and I pulls up sometime.
I still can hear music just like it's playing on the inside, man. Just like if we were playing on the inside here.
It wasn't one Sunday, you know what I'm saying, that didn't nobody came. At least 1 or 2 people came every Sunday. And we played just as hard for 1 or 2 people as we would if 150 or 200 people had showed up.
Sometimes they come in and they start playing, and everybody in the town would come up with a guitar.
A lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun.
Don't nobody get hurt or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody just have fun. That's why I go to the club every Sunday.
Yeah, I'm fitting in the shape. I mean, see, I'm in a better shape than people think I am. But I just don't give up. I'm a tough motherfucker.
When was the last time you were at the doctor? Do you know?
I don't know. Man, don't you know when you go to the doctor, you ain't doing them working up for death. The more you stay away from the doctor, the better you is and the better you feel. No one really, I got to go to the hospital for so-and-so. And when they go there, sometimes they get back and sometimes they don't. So I ain't taking no chances. That man brought me here, I'm gonna let him carry me away. That's my doctor.
You don't know that you're gonna go to heaven though, do you?
Oh, yeah, I believe anybody else go.
I live with no one now, I live alone. You just end up being alone. So, when you end up being alone, you have to live with it. I never did want to be the guy that was forgotten. See, many people go bury them, they die, they bury them, before they can leave the cemetery, they done already forgotten about them. I always wanted to be the person to be remembered and made a little history, and I did that, so I'm proud of that.
Well, I wish I was in heaven sitting down. Wish I was in heaven sitting down.
I was in Hollow Spring and they called me, told me the house was burning up.
Wish I was in heaven sitting down.
I had a couple of amplifiers and a guitar burned up. The guitar was handmade. A fella gave it to me from Alabama. I did it, when all the grandchildren was at school, did nobody get burnt in there. The Lord blessed me for that.
Take away my sin and give me grace.
But I hope my health lasts me and I can go on another year or two to make a living for my family.
Oh, my Lord, wish I was in heaven sitting down.
2 months ago, RL came down to Oxford. 3 arteries were clogged and had an angioplasm. And I was like, well, at least this is getting taken care of, and it'll probably scare him into at least taking real good care of himself for a while. And the next morning, I get a call from him. He's over at Lady Luck Casino in Tunica wanting a small advance. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing, RL? And he's like, oh, I'm pushing my luck.
Oh, my teeth and under my tongue. Look out, stomach, here this dirty motherfucker come. Well, well, well.
To keep on crying. Oh, she see me laughing.
gonna feed you, put you in a corner. You don't know, baby, you don't know my mind. Oh, she see me laughing at the kid from crying. Let it deep cry.